Hello, this is McKay Scanlon, and this is my ECI 630 Week 6 final presentation using Pear Deck with Google Slides. Today I'm going to go over how to use Pear Deck in conjunction with Google Slides for your day-to-day classroom lessons. Students using Pear Deck can use a classroom code entered in order to join a class that the teacher is presenting that day. Pear Deck uses many of the ISTE standards to align its lesson planning. 1C, students use technology to seek feedback that informs and improves their practice and helps them to demonstrate their knowledge through using technology. Students use key digital citizenship engagement when using computers, and they're able to use the technology in a social interaction way that is safe for all students, legal and ethical, while using Pear Deck in conjunction with their lesson. The third item that I feel Pear Deck brings is that it allows students to create their original works on the computer, where they get remixed into digital resources, into new creations. I think this is a very important aspect for students, rather, to learn and to enhance their skills by using technology in the classroom. So how do we use Pear Deck in instruction? We use it through Google Slides. Pear Deck is an add-on that you see here in the add-ons bar, where we click on it, and I already have Pear Deck here, but I'm going to show you how to load it up on your own Google slide, where it says Get Add-ons. And you'll see add-ons will pop up here, and right in front you'll see Pear Deck, and I already have it installed. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you where I go for creating the lesson using Pear Deck. So here we have the add-ons. I'm going to click add-ons. So right now I have a presentation here that I just loaded up for this class, and it doesn't have Pear Deck on it yet. So I'm going to open Pear Deck add-on for this presentation. And Pear Deck's going to go ahead and load it up for me. And here we see it's loaded up a template area for me to use in correlation with my slide. So how do we ask some questions? Well, over here you'll see we have preloaded options here that we can load into an area. I'm going to go ahead and create another slide. Let me create another slide here. There we go. So I am going to go ahead and what is the purpose of coding? All right. Okay, I'll correct that too. All right. So I'm going to click down here in this area. So I'm going to ask where I can have a pre-done question. And I'm going to update the slide, and it's going to pop open this little add interactive question. Now this bottom area is where your students are going to write a response. Now I'm going to go in later on how they are actually able to connect with you on this. But I'm just going to ask different questions here. Let me load up a couple questions really quick. So you'll see I've thrown up 3 questions that I would ask students in the beginning of a class. So I want to start this lesson. I want to have students join in with me. So I'm going to go ahead and start this lesson. And what I'll have come up here, and I'm going to let me go ahead and sign in here. What it's going to come up with here, and we'll let that load up a second here. And I'm going to go ahead and pause this for a second. So here we see it's loaded up. So now I have a code up here that I would give out students, all right? And it looks like PMUAO. I can share this now to Google Classroom. Now I'm going to come up and it's going to show Google Classroom. Unfortunately, I'm in the wrong area, but in your classroom, this will show an area and you'll be able to load the class into this area, and you'll be able to interact. Students will log in with that code, and they'll be able to interact from their computer. One thing I wanted to add in here real quick is students will actually go to the website here, joinpd.com, and then they'll enter this code. And when they enter this code, they will go to, they'll enter your class so that they can interact with the questions that you've given them. All right. So here I want to show again what the class code looks like when it comes up. So now that we've seen how, an example here of entering and using Pear Deck with Google Slides, I'm going to show you one of my lessons that I've created. Let's go over here. This is my 3D printing and solid modeling curriculum. And I address all the CTE standards that are needed for my curriculum. And now I'm going to go down here, and this is going to be on introducing Tinkercad. So I want to show my students how to use Tinkercad, and I want them to see this all on their computers, at their desktops. All right, that's the way I can, and that's the key to using Pear Deck. You can use it for each and every student individually. All right, so here is our lesson on Tinkercad. So I'm going to go right here, and I'm showing this using Pear Deck. I want the students to know they're going to be using Pear Deck. So I would go ahead, and I have preloaded questions in here, and I've got a couple of videos that I will have them watch. So here, what kind of drawings? This would be a pre-question that I could ask my students, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and start this lesson here. So all the students are at their desktops. I have this on an overhead projector showing them. So I am going to go ahead and start the lesson. And now it's going to come, and I'm going to go, and here I'm going to use an instructor-paced activity as opposed to a student-paced activity. So we are going to go ahead and load that up, and we're going to launch the presentation. Now, this is going to pop up, and this is the code that students will enter, all right? And they will enter this code so that they can join this online session where we're going to interact together on the computer screen itself. Now, this is going to wait for students. Now, I'm not going to have any students join into this right now because we're not in class. So I just wanted to show you how this works out. And then what we'll do is we're going to go ahead, and this is the full presentation here, and students will be able to scroll through this, and they'll be able to answer these questions. And by doing that, I can show responses, and this is the area where students would respond, and it would come up into in each response of each student that is actually in the class and using this. So, and what they'll end up doing is that in Tinkercad, they'll end up doing an outline of this drawing at the end to complete the full lesson here. So that's going to conclude my presentation on using Pear Deck with Google Slides. I hope this was informative and showed you how you can use Pear Deck to really help your students engage with the questions and engage in critical thinking while they're performing the lesson. And this helps teachers can guide and really steer students to what they want to be learned during that lesson. It gives students an opportunity to answer and actually be very, very incognito with their answers. So I hope this was very informative. I'd like to thank you all for listening, and that'll conclude it. Thank you very much.